Hi guys, how you doing? Alright, I want to do a quick compression test just to do a leak down and see what shape my valves are, and of course I'm going to do a lot of machine work, so there's going to be a lot involved, but I just wanted to see how the condition of the motor is. Basically on the 2jzgte, I cleaned up the starter just so everybody could kind of see it. See the back. Okay. Here's your 12-volt source going into the starter right here. Underneath at the bottom. Okay. And you could put a ground anywhere on the block. I just put it right here. So I put my ground there. Of course, if you're doing just the starter itself, hell, you can clamp on here as long as you're down to bare metal, which this all is. But here's the signal. See that little harnessed connection? Won't focus, but basically I just put a roach clip in there. You can kind of see it's only one. See, there's only one in there. So basically connect it. I'm not going to do it now because I already did it, but just so you know. There we go. Basically you could use this. I mean, this worked just as good. Or you can use something thicker like that, which would probably be a little better. But I got 14 gauge wire here. That should be enough. I know, long story short. Take this wire, which I have connected into there, and go to, sorry, it's all tangled up here, and just tap it. Crank it with your compression tester hooked up, count to 5, let off. That's all you have to do. Check your readings. Of course, my readings are pretty low at first because there was no oil up in the cylinders, so it was like 90. And then once I got it to come up, the highest I got this thing was 120. Okay, so I did a leak down test. My readings are pretty worn out. Who knows where these motors are actually coming from. Some people say they're from Japan. I think they're more from like Canada or something. So they probably have high miles on them and nobody knows about it. But this motor's pretty much worn out. It's retired. So doesn't really matter. I'm doing a full build. Got a lot of machine work to do. I will post as much as I can. There's no secrets with me on building my motor. Most guys are like, they don't want to tell you nothing because it's like a big secret. Like, I don't understand why. But when you're hooking up, your turbo, which I'm doing a single turbo, here's your two oil lines, okay? Which I'm going to use that one because just by doing basic test, when I was doing a compression test and I was cranking it, that one cranks some serious oil out of it. This one, not so much. So I'm sure everybody uses that one. Where is it at? There it is. So in a kit that I'm going to buy, pretty simple, has a plug for this, so we can plug that up. And on the Aristo front sump, there's the drain. So I found a pretty good set actually on eBay for like 45 bucks. It comes with a lot of stuff and there's companies out there that charge an arm and a leg just for one piece. Well, if there's any issues or anything, I'll just do some machine work or fix it, whatever. But you can't go wrong with that. The comes with the oil supply line, oil drain lines, a plug for this one, all the attachments for your sump going back into your tank, your oil pan, and the attachments to the bottom of the turbo, all your stainless steel braided lines, all that stuff. But we'll see. I'll probably get that kit. Can't go wrong. So basically I had some air coming out, a couple of the exhausts, some of the intake, and I did a leak down. I'll do the machine work on the head, flap the valves. I'm going to go with GSC S2 cams, 274. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with the Beehive springs, only because if you ever had a spring break, you're going to do massive amount of damage. So I'll probably do a dual spring. Only reason why I know that because my dad's broken a couple springs on his LS1 and saved his motor by having that extra spring in there from dropping down. So it didn't do any damage to the top of the piston, so we were able to just change the spring and be good to go. So I'll definitely do like a dual spring. But this is pretty much it, guys. It's all broken down. That's it. So it's pretty simple. 2 nuts. Where's the other one? Intake side, rest are bolts. Here's a bracket here that holds the top of the intake. There's a bracket down here. See the bolt right there? Comes up, holds the bottom of the intake. That's pretty much it. In the wiring harness, there is one injector wiring harness that you separate. The others and all this stuff on this side pulls out to the back. Pretty simple. But I'm going to keep my air conditioning on the vehicle just because I like air. Going to do some machine work on the valve covers. Not sure if I'm going to go with like maybe a -10 or a -12, but I have to look internally on these valve covers and see how they're built. I wanted to do them on the back. I am going with the LS2 coil packs. I am probably not going to use or install them inside. There's ways that you could put them inside. I'm thinking about making a pretty cool bracket assembly on the firewall and then running some badass spark plug wires. Nothing wrong with some 8mm spark plug wires, solid copper. Not solid copper, 8mm. I don't know if they make stuff bigger nowadays, but probably do that. Keep it clean. I'm going to do some, I'll tell the internals that I'm going to do once I get to that point. CP Piston's going to have to make some custom pistons for me. because it's the way I want it done. It's usually 4 to 6 weeks. I'll give you all the specs on it to help you guys. I was going to use aluminum rods, but I'm not going to race it on a daily basis, so I'm going to go with some Carrillo. And some pretty beefy wrist pins. So there's a lot of machine work involved in that. 4 to 6 weeks with the piston and the wrist pins. But I drained the oil out on it, and that's what it looked like. Like I said, I started to take off a couple things, this sensor, just clean them up because I wanted to take them off. I took this sensor off, and it was pretty nasty. So it's telling me they used regular oil instead of synthetic its whole life. And it looks pretty fucking nasty. There's a couple things I'm gonna do, and when I get to it, I'll post those videos. This is a new motor for me. There's not that much information. There's a lot of guys out there that they really don't post what they do. They just post pictures. Yeah, it's always nice to post pictures, but explaining what you're gonna do kind of helps. I like to watch videos like that. Everybody gets into detail, you know. And it's crazy to think these motors, you know, are pushing 2,000 horsepower, straight 6, badass block. It's the design. We all know V12, straight 6, 4 bangers, excellent design. Alright guys, trying to film this as much as possible so, you know, you guys kind of have a good idea. There's the difference in the Supra and the Aristo is this. Not exactly sure what the name of this is, but it's pretty much eliminated. This is part of the water pump, and I'm gonna order. It's like a couple $100, and it basically comes, I think, with the back housing here, the water pump, and it eliminates all this. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it probably went to, obviously, like some kind of cooler or part of a radiator. I'm not exactly sure. It's pretty interesting though. I haven't done the research. I've never seen anything like this. But I think they call it like a hydro something. This is all new to me, so, and I'm sure a lot of other people that do the 2jzgte swaps that pay an arm and a leg to have somebody else do it. I hope this helps. Water pump, tensioner, power steering, AC compressor, crank pulley, alternator. I'm sure you guys all know that. If you didn't, I'm sorry. So I'm going to start stripping things off of this slowly, do the machine work on them, make it look badass, and then I'll point out the things that I've done. But got a lot of work ahead of me, a lot of money, but it's a toy, right? Here's my buddy over here. Time to go inside, right, buddy? Are you hot? Huh? It's my junkyard dog. All winter he hangs outside with me. Guards the yard, right, bud? Keeps all the kitties off the yard. Where's the kitty? Where's the kitty? Yeah, we got wild cats running around here. Oh, here we got. Oh, check this out. Thinking about taking this thing out tonight. Whoa. What do we got here? Look at this badass machine. Ooh, man. Does that thing look wicked? I did have an oil leak here, but no more. Good to go. That was a lot of work, engineering and building this whole thing myself. Making brackets for everything. Building a bumper from scratch. Oh, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to kick you. Staring at the camera. Yeah, you remember how many hours it took me to build that thing. You were next to me pretty much the whole time. Yep, it is a drift go-kart. There we go, look. Emergency brake. Goes in the back. Got one of them. It was a 954RR master front brake that controls that one side. I got adjustable here, master cylinder. Engineered and designed the bracket assembly for that. Made these foot pedals. Also, you can adjust, so you can adjust the one back, which, look out, buddy, I'll step on you again. See, I got another caliper back there. Designed and engineered spindles. Actually, and the hubs. Yeah, that was a lot of work. This thing turns like butter. Oh, look at that. Pretty wicked. Let's see if the battery's dead. Oh, damn. It's not. Ready? Oh, shit. You just hear that? Oh, man. What a beast. Oh, yeah. Calm down, buddy. It's all right. Reupholstered the seat. A little bit of lint over there. Badass. Got my little switch panel down here. Push button breakers. Turn it on. Oh yeah, sorry man. I didn't mean to blind you there, buddy. Don't look into the light. Oh yeah. Look at that thing. Better turn it off before I blind my dog. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, better turn this thing off before we die from the fumes. But here it is. That's a different cluster. The original one was broken. It had 16,000 miles on the motor, which isn't too bad, I guess. I only got like 2,500 on my bike, and it's a 2000 and 3, I think, or 4. So I don't ride it much ever since I crashed. But used a urethane paint. It's supposed to be like a matte finish. I like it. I like the texture I left too. I left a lot of orange peel on there, so you can't see my flaws. Pretty wicked though. Alright guys, have a great day. Later.